Tell your friends you're listening to the Verhoeven Effect podcast. I'm Colin,
And I'm Nathan.
and we have another very special episode. We have the 1973 movie Westworld. Nathan, do you have a history with Westworld?
This was when did I watch this and like really pay attention to? I think this was like the Turner Classic Movies or
Uh huh.
slash TNT. I don't know. It was one of those networks
Yeah.
where I paid attention to this because um I realized that like, oh, this is the guy who writes all those books I love. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the guy who did the Andromeda Strain and all the other Michael Crichton books that are so cool. It's like, oh, he actually directed this one. That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's I would say I don't know, it was probably in the late '80s, early '90s, whenever that was around. That's where I remember like actually paying attention to it,
Yeah.
not just being some background noise.
I basically only know this through pop culture osmosis and probably just The Simpsons, really. So,
Yeah,
uh, well, and the 2016 TV show. So,
yeah,
it's weird to think that that's almost 10 years old now. The first season of
yeah. That is strange to think. It's like that too is now a decade.
Westworld. um, yeah, it came out November 21st, 1973. So just in time for the holidays. Which I actually don't know if it's a success. They seem to have shot this on a pretty low budget and it made it at least its budget back. And I don't know what '70s advertising dollars was, so who knows? So, I don't know. They made like a sequel and a television show, like a 1980 television show, so it must have been successful enough to try to
Well,
mine from.
when Michael Crichton sold him the script, they authorized 750,000 to make it, and then they bumped it up to like 1.5 million with advertising.
Yeah,
So that was and it made like 10 million back, but it was one of those movies like the early days of VHS cassettes, like when you could buy them at a store. Like it made $4 million. Like people wanted, and only this one, not the other one. So
yeah,
so it was one of those things like, yeah, they made their money, sure. Uh, but that was yeah, that was kind of how that one worked. Because I know this was because Michael Crichton had already they and when he was just a poor peasant student who just graduated Harvard Medical School, the script for the Andromeda, or wrote the book Andromeda Strain, and that got made into a movie. And then he's like, I this was like his next idea.
yeah,
Well, it wasn't the next idea. The Terminal Man was his next book, but he thought this. He wrote it, and he's like, "This would be better as a movie than a story. It would be a weird story." So he just wrote it as a movie script,
yeah,
and he was shopping it around, and everyone kind of passed on it until MGM said they would do it. But at that time, reputationally, MGM was considered not a good company to work with because they'll just meddle with you. But they were the only people that were willing to take a chance on it, and they immediately started meddling with it.
yeah,
Because of course he's first time director, so he's like, well, I'll do my best. But he also seems like he's exceptionally intelligent.
yeah.
So, but yeah, because they immediately like took over casting and they wanted to tweak the script. He didn't know who was going to be in the movie until 3 days before they
Yeah,
started shooting.
yeah. He made it sound like as soon as he yelled action, that's when the cast was set. So
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty wild.
yeah, directed by Michael Crichton, who pretty much mostly know him for his uh, for being a novelist rather than a director, but he has directed several things.
Yes,
We've watched Coma before, I think, when we were doing the Criterion stuff.
yes, that's
I,
a weird one.
oh yeah, wait, I didn't know he directed Runaway, or maybe I did.
Yeah,
Maybe I did know that.
one of my or the Great Train Robbery is one of my favorite.
Yes, he did the Great Train Runaway and Runaway.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen Looker. So,
it's Looker's odd.
I mean, kind of all his movies are odd.
Yeah,
So, um, yeah, don't know what physical evidence is. It seemed like his directorial efforts kind of went down the hill, and he's like, I'm just gonna write novels. So
Yeah, I mean, I think his like his career. Well, has a very eclectic career because he got a medical degree from Harvard University, and then he worked in legal stuff like computer legal stuff, like basically patenting and how and how you could build intellectual property cases around stuff. And then between that, it's like, yeah, I'm going to write novels and do sci-fi, and
yeah,
seems like a guy who has probably had just a huge mind
yeah,
and just decided, well, I'm eventually as he got older, he decided to I'm going to just specialize
yeah.
in making bank off of some of the biggest, and books made into movies ever. So
I know, like the hubris of man making machines and they revolt against you is a pretty old idea, but it is funny watching this movie and being like, oh, this is just Jurassic Park.
yeah, essentially it's the same movie. When you watch this movie and all the other movies about machines turning against people or whatever, and you realize, oh, all the ideas in this are like that's been copied over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy stuff. Like they almost say computer virus in this movie. They don't quite say it,
Yeah.
but it's like that's ahead of its time. And then John Carpenter credits Yul Brynner's character as the relentless walker, as that's where Michael Myers got that. He liked that.
Oh, okay. I've heard that also attributed to the Terminator.
Yes, well, Arnold Schwarzenegger said that like Yul Brynner's economy and sameness of movement, regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's what a machine would do. It would just move or as it was programmed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Terminator does run and pick up his pace, but generally he's walking, he's reloading, he's not in a hurry.
Yeah.
And this guy isn't either. So
He doesn't have an endless power supply. You gotta monitor that stuff. So.
yeah.
Yeah, also written by Michael Crichton. Cinematographer Gene Polito.
Yeah.
Who, oh man, just had his stuff up. Although one of his top 4 listed looks, I've never heard of this, but it seems, I watched the trailer, I was like, what the hell is this? Seems interesting. Have you ever heard of Colossus, the Forbin Project?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I have no idea what that was.
Another early movie about AI taking over the world.
Yeah.
Very interesting movie, kind of stilted, but yeah, the shooting looks exactly the same.
Well, I mean, even the trailer, it references 2001: A Space Odyssey, so you can feel like, hey, we're hanging on these coattails. But then there's stuff where like the guy has to like negotiate with the AI. It's like, hey, I need sex, and it's like, well, how many times a week do you need sex? And then he uses sex time to pass messages along to people, but then also have sex. I don't know what's going on. So.
Yeah, they seem to like fall in love. I've watched it before. It's a strange movie from a different time.
Well, it's the same guy who directed the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Or one. Yeah, is that the right? I can't remember the number.
I think it's Pelham 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 8. I can't remember. But anyways, I remember when we saw that movie, I was like, oh, this movie's awesome. So I was like, oh.
That's a great dirty 70s movie. New York sucked. It's like, oh, yeah.
Which I only knew about it when the remake came out. So
yeah. Remake's kind of cool, but I like the original.
That's all right. But yeah, the original is pretty amazing. It's like, oh, this just seems like Die Hard.
Yeah, essentially Die Hard on a subway train. Yeah, Gene Polito, another eclectic guy. Bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and worked in aerospace, during World War II, and then he's like, I'm going to be a cinematographer, and he did it for 50 years. Like all his stuff is like a crazy long list. He was born in 1918.
Okay.
So yeah, he died at the age of 92 in 2010. So
he also shot Future World, and then maybe his most famous thing here is Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Yeah, yeah,
which is one of his later ones. So
yeah, it's so interesting. He did. What did he? I think he did. It wasn't Twilight Zone. It was the other Lost in Space.
Oh, okay.
He did a lot of TV, a lot more TV work than movie work. But yeah,
Yeah.
this guy was around. And being as he was a mechanical engineer, I'm sure he was like inventing crazy ways to move cameras back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So
With shoestrings and popsicle sticks.
yeah, car parts.
Hey, can we machine this? It's like, how much will that cost? Like a lot? It's like, nah. All right. um, yeah, cast is Yul Brynner, which I basically like know from Magnificent Seven, and I didn't only watch that like 4 years ago or whatever, so I
Yeah.
really don't. Oh, was he like in some movie where he's a king or something like that? There's like
Yes. My Yul Brynner is the my favorite, what they call sword and sandals Bible epic, Ben Hur.
okay,
No, not Ben Hur. Yeah, Ben Hur. Yeah, I think
yeah,
so. No. The Ten Commandments.
okay.
Yeah, he was Ramses in the Ten
Oh,
Commandments.
okay, all
Yeah, he gives those crazy like performances. Like it's almost staged, but it looks cool on film too. Like he was that guy. Very famous Russian American actor.
right. Famous for being bald too, and that wasn't really
Yes.
like didn't really seem to be an acceptable thing back then or whatever. Or
No,
just
yeah, it was
not as a leading man or anything. So.
interview he gives about choosing to be bald, and he is like, it was a bold choice. Back then, people were getting like with hair pieces and all that.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's brave. I mean, it's brave. Anyone who chooses to be bald, like that's brave to me because I've never had to deal with that, and I wouldn't want to.
yeah.
I'm very lucky that I hopefully won't have to deal with that one. But
Yeah, I remember it was a funny thing with trivia about Magnificent Seven about Steve McQueen like trying to be too flashy in every scene they were in together to try to like try to steal the scene. And
yeah,
Yul Brenner's like, "Hey, quit doing that shit, or I'm just gonna take my hat off and nobody's gonna pay attention to you."
Brenner and Steve McQueen. I guess that was an oil and water because those were two personalities that did not get along because they were both guys that loved to fight. Yul Brenner, I think, even more so.
Yeah.
He was born in Vladivostok, moved all around, like before the Russian Revolution.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, he moved around a lot because I think he was more fluent in French than English. They said, and his most fluent language was Russian. And he would go back there. They have a statue of him there. He was allowed to go back and forth and visit his family a lot.
Huh.
That was kind of more in the 50s and 60s
Okay.
because his most famous thing was The King and I.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what propelled him. But yeah, the Magnificent Seven was definitely like they basically copied that character for this movie because they wanted him to bring that kind of star power. It's like, hey, we got Yul Brynner for this, and it's like, oh yeah, dress him exactly like the guy from the Magnificent Seven. That'll bring people in. It's called Westworld, and it's like a western, but with the robots.
Yeah, because like I know you said it before, but like westerns like dominated Hollywood for like 40 years, and so
Yeah.
this seemed like a good like maybe this is the decade they start to wane out. So let's kind of like let's kind of have something inject a bit more life in it with science fiction and and westerns. So
Well, really, 70s was kind of the era of sci-fi too.
yeah,
Like there was a lot of sci-fi. There was a lot of failed, interesting sci-fi in the 70s, kind of ending with the penultimate sci-fi, which was the first Star Wars. It's
yeah.
like, and then Alien, of course. But yeah, definitely most people, there was a lot of growing pains in the 70s, but they were definitely pushing sci-fi.
Well, I mean, even Star Trek was just basically like, okay, we're just gonna do a western, but it's a sci-fi.
Yeah,
so,
it's a wagon movie. It's a wagon sci-fi. Yeah.
Um, Richard Benjamin, who like I don't, I guess I don't recognize him in acting roles, although I do recognize a bunch of his directing careers. um,
I remember him. He was in Catch 22. He played one of the characters in that. That's an interesting movie to watch in terms of things that go on now. I'm trying to think what else I know him from.
well, he directed The Money Pit,
Okay.
My Stepmother is an Alien, which I don't even remember if I know what that is. um, the Pentagon Wars, the HBO TV movie.
Okay.
Well,
He
that's
starred in Saturday the 14th.
okay.
That was like a comedy movie. Like
Yeah.
he was the husband in that.
um, and then wait, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's like 80.
Yeah, he's still alive. Huh.
Yeah, he's a thin man. They live forever. 87.
And James Brolin, who of course probably is most known for his son, Josh Brolin. Maybe I'm not sure.
At this time, he was kind of an up and coming guy.
Yeah.
A lot of younger people in reviews I read of this movie, they were like, I thought this was Christian Bale because he's really young in this. He's like his most famous role, I think, is Amityville.
Okay.
Amityville Horror, but he did a lot of stuff. He was also in Fantastic Voyage. Oh,
Huh.
Capricorn 1. He was one of the astronauts.
Okay. I know of that movie. I've never seen it.
And then there's that Night of the Juggler we're going to have to watch sometime. It's just a wild movie. It's not great. It's just wild. It's an ultimate. It's in from 1980, but it's the ultimate 70s movie.
Okay.
But yeah, my Josh Brolin is Amityville Horror.
Oh, James Brolin.
James Brolin, yeah. My Josh Brolin is No Country for Old Men. And whoever the guy is in the movies with the smart ass assassin guy. Am I drawing a blank? You know, the guy that can't be killed. The superhero.
Hmm?
They're like comedy movies. What are those movies? Josh Brolin's the guy in them. I don't know. I can't think of it.
Josh Brolin comedy?
Oh, as soon as you know it, you'll. It's Deadpool.
Oh, right. Yeah. He plays. Yeah, he plays. I think it's Cable. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Deadpool. Yeah. I thought you were saying he was the guy who cannot be killed. Like I don't remember Josh Brolin.
It's the Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool. Yes, cannot. Or he gets killed a lot and just comes back to life. You know.
And then he did a good job being Gurney Halleck in the Dune movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to beat the Patrick Stewart Gurney Halleck. He did it different. He took it a different direction.
And then it'll be interesting to see what Weapons is like. So
yeah,
a movie that seems to just gather more and more interest. So hopefully it's a big hit for comedians doing horror movies. Yeah, is there any preamble we should give for like I don't know, I guess like I've watched it backwards, so like when you watched the first season of Westworld, were you able to like hook in elements from this? Is like, oh, I see what they're doing here. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I mean, the thing with Westworld is number one, they had, and I'm going to say Westworld season 1 on HBO. The thing they did with that is they had an amazing writing team behind it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to tell a very complex, deeply moralistic story.
Yeah, and they had the space and budget to do it.
So. Yeah, and they had the actors to do it too.
Yeah.
Because I always considered like Westworld is like, it's like, okay, here's the premise, folks. It's an amusement park that's filled with robots that virtually function and look like humans. But you can do anything you want to, and there's no physical danger to you, which is like, well, that's interesting. But, you know, and it's like, well, that would be fun if it was just like lust in the dust or whatever. But it always leads to violence. And I consider that like, oh, that's just psychopath training.
Yeah.
Because these things act like they don't want to die. They bleed and you kill them. It's like training people to just, it's like, oh, well, I've seen the screaming and the blood. Now I know what to expect. And so it's like, this always seemed like a terribly, deeply immoral idea to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not video games. It's not, it's like, oh, you can talk to these guys, shake their hands, you can have sex with them apparently, and you can shoot them and they scream and bleed, and it's like, that's awful. Like
they don't want to die.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
But in this movie versus the TV show, it's like they are more like automatons.
Yeah.
it's like they don't have like an inner motivation. We haven't created something so sophisticated. It's like, oh, they have an inner life and a soul, and they're just trapped in an infinite loop you've created, which is like that's nightmare fuel just to ponder that. Like,
Yeah, and that's the weird way of coming around it the other way to it is because obviously like that stuff's in this movie, but really you have to bring it out. It's not if Westworld season 1 didn't exist, I wouldn't necessarily know to look for it here because it's not like the robots revolt because oh like a penance is due. Like you're going to reap what you've sown. It's just that they just kind of go crazy and kill people.
yeah,
It's not for any personal reason or to for vengeance. It's just because that's what the programming said to go crazy. So
yeah. And Michael Crichton even said like this is not a attack on artificial intelligence or the dangers of machines we create. It's an attack on corporate greed. It's like there's long exposition scenes in this movie where they talk about what's going on, and it's like, keep the park open. It's like
yeah,
that's real what Michael Crichton said. That's the bad idea.
yeah.
It's like it's basically the machine is just going to spin off its bearings and take everyone out. It's not the machine itself is evil, it's just malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Whereas like, yeah, the Westworld we got is like, oh no, you're actually beings from hell that created intelligent human-like machines that actually have a soul and a consciousness, and you torture them over and over and over again. It's like that's being a demon. Actually, that is the definition of hell. So it's like, oh, that's crazy. But then it just like, just Westworld, the modern Westworld, immediately at warp speed disappears up its own ass. It's like, goodbye. It's like, damn, that season 1 was great. This is just like True Detective.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, wow, they're never gonna follow this up, and you're right, they didn't. It's like, damn it.
Well, I mean, season 2 is a completely different cast, and as far as a different world. So it's like they didn't even try. So it's like they knew
Yeah.
what they were doing. So, um, but yeah, I was trying. I was like, yeah, I was trying. There was no way I could watch this without knowing that. So I didn't know if you had any insight of coming through it the other way.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, it is I mean, this is just like the Battlestar Galactica was of this era, and it was like cool when we were kids. Like, get the Cylons. Then here comes the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. It's like, oh, hell is real. It's like, what that? Wow, you got that out of that. Now this is not quite that transformative because it's like, what did Harlan Ellis? Um, who's the guy who ran Battlestar? The showrunner.
oh, the new one.
Yeah, because it
Oh,
was the guy who
yeah, it's
ran.
TNG guy.
Yeah, it's the guy who ran. Yeah, hold on. I love failing memories of senior citizens. It's Ronald Moore,
Yeah.
because when he was getting one of his big awards for Battlestar Galactica, of course they had Harlan Ellison there to present. It's like, you're in charge of making the worst schlock shit sci-fi of the 70s into one of the best shows of the 2000s. I don't know how you did it with that source material. You spun shit into straw. Because he's like vigorously like, you took shit and made it into straw. And did it, or it was something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, that's exactly it. Whereas this was like, this is good for its time and its place, and it's actually sort of cool. It's kind of what I call a taffy movie, where it's like if you heat taffy and stretch it, it really sags in the middle.
Yeah.
It does have that problem, but I think they were actually trying to fill out a lot to make it work.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think it. I don't know. It almost tried to. Well, I mean, this comes later, but it's like Shin Godzilla did it better,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like instead of like a main character, it's just like we're orbiting like organizations and how they're going to deal with Godzilla.
Yeah.
And here it's sort of the same thing. So it's like it's harder to have main characters in this movie as you transition randomly to other things, and it seems like almost necessary or unnecessary to go to Roman world and medieval world at all.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really add anything other than to just have the same thing happen in a different biome.
Yes.
um, and then like your two main characters, like I guess they're interesting because you have one guy who's like, oh, you find out he's like a divorcee and like he's kind of down on his luck, and the other guy just seems to be kind of like, yeah, I've done this before, I'm back here again, and like, and I enjoy it, and like, you don't know if he's just like having fun or being a psychopath, or he's just like, this is the only way I get to be me in this.
Yes, this guy was like, is this like the Man in Black character that Ed Harris played?
But I actually don't think he doesn't kill anybody in this. Like it ends up because Peter is always the one that kills people because he's like new here, so he kind of like is led into that, and John encourages him. That's his name, right? John,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I did. Yeah, no, I didn't know. Like, now I'm not even remembering because like the Man in Black here, the gunslinger here, and the Man in Black, there's supposed to be some parallels, right?
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay. Except that, and the Man in Black is a human who's doing terrible things unto people, so,
Yeah.
or I guess robots to try to discover the secret of something. I guess
Yeah.
or immortality ultimately. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's lost. Like you hope, and actually, it is lost. It's lost. TV show. It's like, wow, this is cool. Where's this going? Oh, nowhere. Thanks.
Well, I kept waiting in Westworld, like, because they even in season 2, like, you don't leave Westworld, and it's like, man, do we even know if this is Earth?
Yeah, I remember we were talking about it. Like, could this be on another planet? No, because it was so weird because they did the time travel thing and all that. But yeah.
And then it was on Earth, and it was kind of worse for it. I don't know.
Yeah, so this first one is kind of reminiscent to me more of the first two guys that went into Westworld in the modern TV series.
Yeah.
Because you find out like the Man in Black and that they're the same guy. It's just because there's over a 30-year time arc.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, he was like the fresh faced like Peter character, and John's like, yeah, I've been here before, and he wants to be a good guy initially, but he discovers like, no, if you're evil, Westworld works better for you. It's not really reflected here. That kind of happens because, like I said, they had a lot more time to
yeah. Here they just kind of play with the idea and then move on. So
yeah, they have 88 minutes versus like 12.
yeah,
hours.
This is a surprisingly short movie, but I guess considering the budget, that makes sense. Because also Michael Crichton was very short with takes, so
yes,
that's one way to save your movie budget is just do limited amount of takes.
I remember that. What was the movie with Johnny Depp, Ed Wood?
Yeah,
it was like perfect cut. Like the mic in the scene.
Yeah. That's like notorious the Clint Eastwood's directing method as well.
Oh, okay.
One takes, move on. So very different from the Robert Rodriguez method of, hey, let's do 40 takes from 20 different angles. So.
Let's do so many takes we could just tie the film together. Just takes and just like it would look like we were traveling through space and time. Let's do so many takes. It's like the gun bullet time in Matrix. It's like, yeah, we're just just move the pop can over there and shoot the same scene. It's like, why? It's like, because you said so. Paid.
We need choices in editing.
Getting paid for the day, so we're not doing like an hour of shooting and you're getting 12 hours of pay. Oh no.
But yeah, then that's different from what Fincher does. Fincher knows exactly what he wants, and he will wait until he gets it. So there's no need to move the camera around to 80 different spots. Like, nope, this is the camera angle. Now make it happen.
I love some of those pictures I've seen because I have some of these like books and stuff from Hollywood. And I won't name the director and the actress because I don't know if it's real or not or if it was staged. But she was like screaming in the director's face, and he was just looking off into the middle distance, like just holding his thing, like wait. And you could tell the whole camera crew was waiting, and he was just staring in the distance. And they kind of did a frame by frame, and then he looks at her and he like gestures, and then she goes and does the scene, screaming like in his face, like an inch from his face.
Yeah.
And he was just like, completely bored. It's like, are you done now? Are you done? Because I'm not. You're either going to do this or it's breach of contract, and then you get so.
I think maybe the craziest Fincher thing I saw was, and it's like, so, it's so seemingly unimportant, but it's still important to Fincher. That like, man, that's crazy. And I think I only saw it in like the behind the scenes of The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's like a scene where this is just a part of a collage. We are seeing people sit at a table in a coffee house with computers. And he has people sit at the computer, no talking in the scene. It's just a part of a collage, a montage. And he's like, raise the table, change the computers out, and they change out like different brands of laptops, and they change the height of the table, they change the type of coffee order, like all this stuff. And it's like, is this necessary? Yes.
Part of his process.
And maybe I'm just not seeing what Fincher is seeing, and eventually we will, and it's like that's what makes him a genius. Or that's the luxury of that kind of filmmaking. Because if you're a independent film, it's like one take. We gotta get this done. We don't have time or money to do this stuff. So.
Yeah, you're not being an artiste. It's like, come on, crank this out.
I guess we'll get into it. Where are my notes? Got Act 1. We got a television commercial about Delos, which I can't remember. Did that carry into the TV show? Is that I can't remember.
It was the same company.
Same company? Okay.
It's an island off of Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where that name comes from. I thought it had meaning. That sounds like Latin. It's like, what does it mean? Like devil? It's just an island off of Greece.
Okay. Okay. Just the name of it. Okay. It's not also the location of Westworld and all that stuff?
No, it's because it's called like Delos Destination or something.
Okay.
It was the same company in both shows.
Okay. Do we also know that this is on Earth?
Because the guy says he's from Chicago.
Yeah, but are they traveling on Earth to another location?
It's described as a hovercraft, the weird vehicle they're in at the beginning. Yeah. And I guess there's a lot more exterior shots of it, but they look so bad Michael Crichton just cut them out.
Yeah, apparently there's a weird like television cut that adds those back in.
Okay, all right. Look that up.
Apparently there's a television cut that just adds more stuff to the movie. I'm assuming too, because it makes commercial breaks make more sense or something like that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes you had to do that for television purposes. You either had to cut stuff out to make it fit, or you had to add stuff in to make it fit. I don't know how that works.
You always have to knock out like a 2-hour block.
Yeah. You can.
It's either we can cram commercials in there, but we haven't sold enough, so it's like, well, let's put all the extra scenes in.
Yeah. I was always like, I was always weird about Mystery Science Theater 3000 because it seemed like it would have to have been like a popular enough show. Like I know it wasn't necessarily like this huge thing, but it had a like pretty committed following. But man, that's a 2-hour television show. That's 2 hours of weekly television.
I don't know how the writers and people did not have a nervous breakdown on that show. Work to make Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
For 2 hours, it's like we're going to put our best material up there. For 2 hours. Go. And a lot of it seemed like initially it was almost like a hobby, like an act of love than a money making thing. And it's like, that's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, hey, let's write Airplane every week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's not possible.
Yeah, but they also don't necessarily like, how much they have to produce versus, they just have to find a bad movie and then like yell
it's just the writing room would be the nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Now the production and stuff, that's already done. I mean, we're going to have obviously silly sets and fun robots. And
I feel sorry for the people that had to like go through all the movies to find which ones would work for the television show.
Yeah, the back end of that and the front end performers, those people did. That's like Star Trek: The Next Generation levels of work. It's like we're gonna have a nervous breakdown. Our point is to make our writers and actors, mentally implode for
Well,
like
that
$100,000 a year or something.
yeah, but they're also Minnesota, so there wasn't like what else are
Yeah.
you gonna do? Um, so we get talk about Westworld and other worlds, which I think there's just three worlds: there's Westworld, Roman world, and medieval world.
Yeah, they didn't have the name scheme down as good as the new one
Oh, with
because
the
the new one they had Samurai World.
yeah, which we only get a glimpse of,
Yeah,
which is kind of like, oh man, you're not gonna do that.
and then they had something called the Raj, which was about the Indian British occupation of India and the governorship of India.
Right,
And then you had War World, which was World War II about the occupation of Italy
yeah,
and Nazis and so. Yeah, but you only saw the Westworld was the main thing you saw.
yeah,
But I did like their names better.
yeah.
It's like Samurai World, and I knew this because I've read so much about it. But they're like, yeah, Samurai World was made because Westworld was seen as too tame for some guests, and it's like that period of medieval Japan is like outside of the Black Death in Europe, probably the worst time to be alive in civilization would be in the what was that called? 'Cause that's when they were using rice as I think it was called the Edo dynasty, or it was
Yeah.
terrible. If you were not a nobleman or a sword fighter, you were just a pincushion for people to shoot you with arrows or cut your head off. And it was literally that bad. That's not like, oh, that's just a Western view of like, no, it was that bad.
Yeah, but it seems like with these,
Let's make food into money. That's like bringing Satan into the bank and saying, what do you suggest? That's how bad that would be.
but even in both West worlds, there's like this idea of they give you this authenticity, but the narratives that play out are pure, not reality. It's
No,
the
yeah,
unreality of fantasy that you get to live through. But it's the authenticity of what it seems like at first. Like, oh, this kind of sucks. This is hot. There's no TV. Where's the internet? I don't
yeah.
have my phone. And then you're like, but then exciting things start to happen, and a fantasy starts to bloom, and then that's actually the magic of it all. So
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm like a gunslinger, like from Stephen King's like Dark Tower world. Like no one can stop me. I'm an unstoppable villain. These robots will cater to that fantasy belief.
yeah.
It's like I've never fired a gun before. I'm gunning people down like they can't even get it. They can't even get a. They're not even grazing me. This is crazy. So yeah,
And it's
because
like
this universe they're paying $1,000 a day. So in 1973, which is movie's not actually set in 1973, it's set in the future of 1983.
okay.
So in 73, that would be $7,000 a day. In 83, it'd be about $5,000 a day. So that's, and I think in the TV show it was like $30,000 a day or something. The newer one, it was something crazy.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing about Westworld. I guess maybe they brought this up anyways.
Yeah.
Is that rich people were going to do this.
Yeah.
But rich people could do this to real people anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think the actual world of the Westworld TV series, the modern one, I think they were in some kind of techno dystopia.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't like violence in the real world. Like crime was manufactured. We've come to find out later as it goes on.
Yeah.
So there's like, yeah, all their needs are basically met by a underlying AI controlled world where there's, what did they say in the movie? All the rough edges were rounded off. I mean, people still died and things like that, but it wasn't like this. It was like initially you thought like, oh, the world's pretty much like ours, but then the rich people go to this computer world of robots where they get to kill people and be psychopaths, and then you find out like, no, the real world's kind of a bland, hopeless thing. It's very catered to a narrow like existence, and so but because I don't even see like if there's wealth disparity in that world or anything. Like it's kind of weird. This is more portrayed as like, yeah, I'm from Chicago, and it's like, oh, it's the future world of the 80s. So whatever they imagined that would be.
No, I mean, I guess that's what they explored in like, was it season 3? Because they have the guy from Breaking Bad is kind of like a working schlub, And then like the Man in Black is trying to use basically all the wealth in the world to try to achieve immortality through, however, the guy made the automatons in Westworld. It's like, um,
Yeah,
uh,
but that world is portrayed as kind of a bland, like, because like the guy from
well,
Breaking
yeah,
Bad.
yeah. Eventually, they real like there's like there's AI controlling everything to the point where it's like your choices don't matter. Like it, but like that's like intentional or whatever. I forget.
Because I remember we find out sadly, like the guy he's been talking to that his therapist is not a real person. It's just some program
Yeah,
because he was like some kind of soldier in some forgotten war.
yeah.
And then he's able to commit crimes and stuff because it's something him and his friends do for fun. Doesn't really have any bearing on how the world works.
Yeah. Again, there doesn't seem to be like homelessness or stuff like that in the
No.
world. So, like, you will be taken care of. It's all about whatever your self fulfillment is. But even as it was portrayed in like season one, where it's like these are bankers and lawyers going to have fun on the weekends.
Yeah, they were definitely the people at the top of the pyramid, and I'm guessing these people were too, because John tells Peter, it's like, yeah, you're a lawyer, and so they both have like high powered jobs in this
Yeah,
universe.
Peter's able to have a divorce and spend a lot of money on a vacation. So,
The good old days.
so yeah, basically Westworld allows people to live out fantasies with robots that are so real that you wouldn't know the difference. Um, Other than like what they point out later on is that they kind of have weird wrinkles to their hands, and that's the only giveaway.
So
and,
another weird foreshadowing of the future, because now when you do AI art, isn't that the one thing it never gets right consistently are our
well,
hands?
it's like teeth and hands. Like
Yeah,
you always have too many teeth and too many fingers.
yeah,
So-
extra fingers or weird fingers. Yeah, because their hands, where we have like knuckle joints or whatever, it looks like an extra rubber ring around them.
yeah.
Which is like, if they can't do hands right, how can you have sex with these things? Sex organs would be like way more complicated. Well, I don't know. Hands are like super complicated. Maybe that's just hard to make them art. Because I know artists have people I know that are artists, like my friends. They say the hardest thing to draw is hands.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird. Why is that? Because your hands are what you're using to draw it, and it's like, it's just because we have mechanical minds where we build machines, and our hands are not mechanical. They're just bones with all kinds of like complex ligaments and nerves that make all these little movements possible, and it's super hard to recreate them realistically.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't know that. And he goes, yeah, it's a thing in art. It's hard to recreate hands, even for humans that have hands that are real. So that
Uh,
might have been where that came from here too.
yeah, no. Well, I guess also they have the weird kind of silver glow to their eyes, like if they
Yes.
look in the just the right, they look in the right direction or whatever. So,
Yeah, that's
'cause-
a tell they kind of invented for the movie. To like, oh, this is how you know.
well, for the gunslinger, he looks that way all the time, but all the other robots they'll occasionally like,
Yeah, they'll get some like eye, like an animal at night. They get this eye shine.
yes. Which I don't know how they did in effect. I imagine it was some horrible contact that had to be put in with a bazooka or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's probably something like all the actors went blind in this. That
Yeah, this guy interviews Janet, who's in Roman World, who incredibly enjoyed herself. So you know, Roman World's like if you want to have orgies, that's where you go to Roman
yeah.
World. So, yeah, so they take a hovercraft to the worlds, which they just have like they show a cockpit and like a rear screen projection, and it doesn't look like a hovercraft at all because it's like taking sharp angles and weird stuff. But then I'm thinking of a hovercraft with like a skirt on it, and this thing is just like a low flying airplane or
Yeah,
whatever.
this is almost like an chronoplane
Yes.
but it floats on the land. You don't get a lot of exterior shots.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what chronoplanes are, go to your search engine and type chronoplanes Soviet waterplanes. Really cool.
Yeah. Oh, what was it the Caspian Sea monster? Was
Yes,
the
the Caspian Sea monster. We didn't know it was one of those things. It was like the fox bat. It's like, oh, the commies have invented new tech we can't beat. quick, send spies and satellites, and then we find out what it is, and it's like, that's cool, but it's like a one-trick pony. Like, it doesn't really.
That's
It's like,
unique, but also stupid.
yeah, it's like, how do we defeat that? It's just modify our strategy slightly with what we have. And that's called capitalism, you know. But yeah, the some of the weapons that the Soviets came up with were like, that's awe-inspiring to see. And to realize, like, you couldn't feed all your people and you were doing this. Crazy.
And then we get the tagline, Delos, the vacation of the future today. So, then we have the opening credits. We get the hovercraft to Westworld. We get attendants serve drinks, which I'm not sure if they, presumably these are real people. You never know. So, again, that was a thing. It's mentioned here, and then just like then you let it go. But that's like a constant thing in the TV show is like, are they hosts or not? Yeah.
Well, and then that gets really dumb.
Yeah, anybody can be a host.
Everyone's a host.
Yeah.
We're all hosts now. It's almost like that when they made fun of in Team America when they were making fun of the musical Rent.
Yeah.
They were singing the song at the end, which I won't sing all the lyrics, but it was everyone has AIDS. And it's like, that's what Westworld became. Everyone's a host. Lives are meaningless.
We got John Blaine, played by Josh Brolin, and Peter Martin, played by Richard Benjamin. They talk about specifics of what you can do in Westworld, which like Peter's kind of nervous, is like, so is a Colt 45 that have much kick to it? And then John's just like, I don't know, kind of. I don't know. And he's like, do I get the guns with strings? I'm not sure what he's talking about. Is this like a lanyard that like keeps your gun from falling away from you or something like that?
Yeah, it's you can get what would be the modern equivalent? You ever seen the Safariland holsters that actually ride on your hip versus off your belt?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like there would be a strap or a tie up above your knee. It's you could have better articulation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because the best way to carry a pistol is a Safariland holster.
Okay.
Because we live in a civilized society, you can't really open carry like that. Go to get milk. So yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Okay, I thought he was talking about like pistols that have lanyards that like usually cavalrymen would have in case they drop their pistol, they could still like recover it.
No, this was about strapping it above your knee.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that gives you a lot more. You can run, you can ride a horse that way.
Yeah.
Because with the unattached one, then the holster is always trying to go straight. Kind of the problems we have with like wearing holsters on our sides.
Yeah.
It's like they're not the most, and especially the ones I wear because they're inside the waistband, and I'm a big fat guy. Like, yeah, they're not comfortable. But yeah, if you could do like a Safariland, like that'd be awesome. But then you're just a magnet for every weirdo to see. So it's like, nope, you got to conceal it. That's why it's concealed carry.
We get a demo video for the people going to Westworld, which presumably they've already seen this. But this is, you're introducing the audience. This isn't for us.
Yeah, this is like your in-flight movies they show you on aircraft.
Yeah.
It's like, you have the Delta magazine you can read. It's all about traveling to places and cooking and things like that.
John ignores it because he's seen it before, but also he's done this before, but everybody else is like enraptured. So, John has enough money to do this again. Everybody else, it seems like most everyone here, it's like their first time. So,
yeah.
We get a glimpse of the control room and like all its monitors and stuff like that. Basically, looks like
very cool scene of the pilot wearing mirrored glasses.
Yeah.
Outside is reflected in his glasses, but it's a weird angle because it's like shot up from like down below him.
Yeah.
He's really like doing.
Well, you can kind of almost see like. There's like a glass canopy that has like a rolling thing going over it, and then like basically at a different angle is the reflection and it going across in his eyes, and so it's very artistic, I suppose.
And then it has that what I call the TH-1138 communications in the background. Yep, we need a 416 on the 992. And Roger, and I assume it's just nonsense.
Yeah, probably.
HX1138 did it to excess.
Yeah,
because it's like it's like they're talking about torturing people and stuff, and it's like if 3 on the 22. Try the 18 again, and they're like prodding people with sticks. And so I call that THX 1138, where you can actually clearly hear the dialogue, but it's just garbled stuff. Because now they do that, but it's all in the background.
Yeah.
Like you just hear like military radio comms, but it has nothing.
Yeah, it's like the hum of the Enterprise or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
But here they're doing, future talk.
Let's see here. They get off the craft and go into a building. Oh yeah, I also like everyone has like a different card to say which one's the Westworld. So Westworld's like
Red
blue.
Card,
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. They get blue tags, so they're going to Westworld. John talks about how they haven't perfected the robot hands yet. Then we cut to John and Peter get suited up. We have Dick Van Patten here. He's listed as the banker. And he's just kind of their third, and he just kind of appears around. He's like a comic relief here and there.
Yeah.
Which I felt like I knew him from more things, but I'm like, oh, he's just kind of the king from Spaceballs. But he's been in a bunch of stuff, but like that's probably where I most know him from.
He's a 60s TV actor.
Yeah. Well, he looks like a game show host, which he probably played a game show host somewhere. I don't know. Or he was actually a game show host. I don't know. So I just have that being the end of Act 1. So Act 2, we're in Westworld now. They're brought to town on a Wells Fargo stagecoach. A robot shows them their room, and Peter seems a little let down by the reality of it because he's like, well, I'm going to get bored here. I've also learned that Peter's been recently divorced, and this is kind of like him getting back out there in a weird way. And then I think John tips the one guy so they can get a look at his hands, and then also the guy showing around just kind of like, he doesn't act like a robot. It's like, well, thanks, whatever, dude. Then we cut to like the banker's like practicing drawing his gun, and he just shoots a hole in the mirror. So that leads us to believe that these guns are real, which I guess they are real. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how gunfire equates to a battery, but who knows?
Well, I think the battery that died later was the sensor that probably wasn't working anyway.
Oh, if it has no battery, it just completely stops working.
Yeah, remember the guns, the only thing that keeps them safe, because the one guy asks, I think in this scene or whatever, it's like, how do you not shoot well, maybe this is later.
It's later. He says there's an infrared sensor that detects body heat. So
that's your safety in Westworld.
So you can't harm other guests. Or yourself, presumably.
Now, in the TV show, when they at some point, they like break their programming, and they shoot the man in black, and the bullets just like disintegrate before they hit him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, because the guns aren't lethal, and then they are all of a sudden. And same logic. It's like you don't know why.
Yeah. Well, at that point, there's so much like magical science in that world. It's like, okay, I guess a bullet that can determine its own like velocity.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is a human, make less velocity. Oh, this is a host, full velocity. So because like you said, like apparently, presumably in that world, like conventional warfare is not necessary anymore, so they just got to find other things to do with that technology. So.
Well, I remember like Paris got nuked, so
I didn't remember that. So okay.
Yeah, that's why the one guy created the one AI that they destroyed, the Rehoboam.
Oh, okay.
French guy, because it was because of what happened because he got to see Paris get nuked. Explain why or who.
Yeah.
We can guess.
The guys go out to a saloon. John's playing into character, but Peter feels awkward about playing a cowboy at the park. It's like I'm not a child. They drink some whiskey, and they do the classic whiskey thing of like, it's like, oh goddamn.
What is this, pine tar? Kerosene?
Which I guess here like would make more sense. I always never believe having drunk whiskey. It's like people drinking Jack Daniels and acting like they drank fire in movies. Yeah. Like, it's Jack Daniels. It doesn't. Yes, it kind of has a warmness to it. It's not sting. It's not. You're not drinking a literal fireball.
The only thing that ever got that reaction out of me was very high proof rot gut liquor.
Yeah.
Like stuff that's like 140, 180.
Yeah.
like that will get that reaction. But yeah, like finely made booze, like no. And now I'm to the point of that. This is a high grade probably wouldn't. I don't know. I don't drink this. I drink high test rum and some whiskey, but
John says, "There's no way to get hurt here. Just enjoy yourself." Peter chokes on the whiskey and then he pours another one. So he's like, "Oh yeah, we gotta get this." Then a guy bumps into Peter while getting a drink. This is the gunslinger played by Yul Brynner. Which the gunslinger starts insulting Peter is like sloppy with your drink. And he just keeps on insulting him, and Peter like doesn't want a confrontation because he's like still acting like a normal human being rather than a character. And then as the gunslinger keeps slinging insults, John encourages him to just kill the guy. And then finally Peter retorts like he gets into characters like you talk too much, and then the bar clears out as they have like a gunfight, which like it clears out almost on a comical like wait like just
diving over, doing rolling dives.
Yeah.
It's like a TV show from the 60s, yeah.
It's like a bar fight, but like a reverse bar fight. Instead of fighting, you get out of there. So, this is also where we kind of see like the gunslinger kind of has silver eyes, or at least a silver glare to his eyes. Then Peter's able, like in slow motion, he's able to successfully shoot the gunslinger several times with big bright squibs, big bright red blood and squibs going off, which then is like, oh wow, like I wasn't expecting that because. You know, and I don't know if this is rated. It's probably okay for them because actually I don't know.
I think it was PG.
Because I can see the argument of like, well, it's a robot, so who cares? But it bleeds blood, and sometimes I have a problem with that. So,
the only thing they had to cut with this is I know there was more nudity in it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mainly during the murder scenes, not so much.
Okay.
But it was like, so yeah, they definitely got that out. That's like Clockwork Orange.
Then we cut to Peter's twirling his gun. He wonders if he can shoot other guests by accident, and then John tells him to shoot him, and he points a gun at him, pulls the trigger, and it doesn't fire. And then John says it senses body heat before it can fire. So that's how we learn like that's the safety mechanism. Which then, like later on, when it's like you'll wonder, it's like, well, how does that work in medieval world if they have swords and stuff? Like you can't like stop it from shooting. But
what's the governor on a sword?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could just make it dull, but you know, I don't know. So, if these are like machines that are stronger than you, I guess we don't really get an idea of the strength of the machines, but
yeah, I don't know. It's just they're relentless and single-minded once they go. It's like all they want to do is kill.
We see a glimpse of medieval world, which there's like a guy like we've seen before, but like I don't even think we get his name. He's just like listed as the knight.
Yeah,
I thought he like he brought like his wife, right? Did they split up, or are they in this world together, or is she like in Roman world?
I think she's in Roman world.
Okay,
yeah, you never see her in medieval world.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because yeah, it would be weird because he's like trying to have sex with the queen and like just like a maid.
Yeah.
Then we come back with the guests have dinner at like the hotel they're staying at or whatever, and then we hear of Miss Carey. And then we cut to Miss Carey, played by Majel Barrett, who is
interesting. I saw that and I was like, oh wow, Star Trek.
Yeah, she was married to Gene Roddenberry. She was in several. She played Nurse Chapel in the original Star Trek, and then was Deanna Troy's mother in Next Gen. She's also
the voice of the computer, right?
Yep. So, here she's the madam of the brothel. So, which I figured like she'd have a bigger role, but she just this is kind of the end of her role. So, they take a couple of ladies to bed. They hear a bank robbery outside, which Pete wants to go deal with. Like, well, maybe we can help them, which is kind of interesting because, like, later on, that basically maybe the next scene that's like, well, maybe I don't know what that means. Like, I think he means here, like, let's go stop the bank robbers, and then by the next day, he'd probably be like, hey, let's go rob a bank. So,
yeah.
Let's see here. But yeah, Pete wants to go do that, but he reluctantly goes to sleep with a robot, which I think Miss Carey says like one of them's like from Paris or something like that. So it's
Yeah,
supposed to
it's
be.
French. Yeah.
Peter's nervous around the lady. She seems kind of empty and robotic for a robot, but I guess it's just more that she's supposed to be foreign, I guess. So uh, they roll around and kiss in bed like a bunch. Like they do like a bunch of like dissolves and stuff like that to imply like hours, I guess, or whatever. And then we get the weird silver eye stare for a moment. So,
Which is exactly what it was kind of portrayed as like as empty a thing as you could imagine that really would be.
yeah, yeah.
It's like here's two people getting together. One of them's a machine. She has no autonomy. She's just doing whatever you tell her to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that would be a useless kind of
Yeah,
sadness.
which just seems like poorly programmed sex robots at a brothel.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be happy to see you? Wouldn't that play into the fantasy? Unless this is someone's weird fantasy.
I want to see the tears in your eyes. See the regret.
Yeah, what's the Bloodhound Gang lyric? The lap dance is always better when the stripper is
Yeah,
crying.
Find that it's such a thrill. She grinds me against her will. Stripper's always crying if you're getting a lap dance. But it's weird.
They're finished up. John comes in. He's happy. Peter admits to having fun. So now Peter's all in on this. So, we see a shot of the outside and like all the dead robots from like the presumed bank robbery or just the day are laying around. And then we get a crew roll in and pick up all the dead robots, which they have just like weirdly conventional, like a van, but then they just a weird like small crane to pick up all the robots and stuff like that.
And they also put up like gantry lights to show
Yeah.
the street.
And they also got these weird,
very workman-like Westworld.
yeah, and they got these weird like three-wheeled like what do you call it, golf cart things or whatever. So
I love golf carts and those work carts in old movies because we still use those where I work. Exactly this. They have not changed the style of those.
Okay.
You don't see the three-wheeled ones very often. Those are kind of a flip hazard.
Yeah.
Four-wheel ones, they had some. They had the Easy Go and the other company that makes them, something Toledo Transport or something. They look exactly the same for the 28 some years. It's like it's the same cart. It never changes, and they keep them forever. The seats will rot. The springs will be stiff. They'll put duct tape over them. Order new engines and batteries for them. It's like keep it going.
I was thinking like the mail ass mail truck.
Yeah,
like those are the same things for like almost like 40 years.
Yeah,
they now eventually made new ones.
Yeah,
but and I forget what they call them. They have a weird name that's like so like seems almost Soviet, where it's just like mail truck thing or something like that. And like they'd have literally millions of miles on them. So.
Yeah, the old ones. Well, they had the Jeep ones for a long time. Now those got phased out, and then the ones they have, not the newest ones, but the main ones you see, those are like General Motors products.
Yeah.
They're basically built around an S10 chassis,
huh.
or but with a very particular kind of motor and transmission that is like ridiculously easy to service and repair.
Yeah,
it's like because they drive forever, and I think they have like wheel bearings in the wheels, like just like a semi truck would have. They have to carry so much weight.
Yeah.
And they just by default that lasts forever. I heard that. I don't know if that's true, but the new ones they have with the weird like bubble where they can see all the way around them. Now those don't work.
Okay.
The electric ones don't last very long. Now they have a gas powered ones, and you do see those occasionally. But the electric ones are having the same. This is like with the Amazon stuff. It's like you never see the same one twice.
But I remember Andrew. He like applied to. He was like worked for the post office for a bit, and he said like, yeah, in those vehicles, at least the old ones, the mail trucks, like you weren't allowed to reverse in them at all.
Okay.
Even though they had a reverse, but there was just so many. Like the data said, like anytime someone reverses, somebody gets killed, so you can just never reverse again. So
can't see, no matter how windows they put on them.
Yeah.
That's the thing with I think UPS operates under a similar principle. It's like always move forward, always turn right, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some kind of logarithm thing they do.
Yeah, I remember. I remember there was interesting like almost a gotcha where like somebody was trying to say UPS was being cheap because the roofs on their trucks were like plastic, and it's like, well, no, it's because it allows sunlight into the back of the car so they can see into the back of the vehicle.
You want to replace 100,000 light bulbs a year? It's like no, you just make the roof out of plastic.
um,
I mean, I remember the big win last year for the Teamsters was they got air conditioning in those trucks.
oh, okay,
You
yeah,
did not have it
yeah,
before.
that's what I meant. That's what I heard.
Yes, it's which is like I don't know. I've never delivered packages like that, but it seems like it'd be a monster to keep that cool because you're
Yeah,
in and out, in and out, in
yeah, the
and out.
door's always open, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like, well, good. I mean, I don't have to do that job, so I'm not gonna. I have some neighbors that do it. They make good money, more money than I do. But they also work a hell of a lot harder than I do too.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So the crew rolls in, picks up all the dead robots. So I'm not sure if that like if there's like a kill switch in these things, or if it's like, man, these people just damaged these robots so they couldn't work anymore, or if they have like, or if the robots just have programming that tells them we've been damaged enough, we're just gonna sit here and wait for pickup. So
It's probably a mechanical preservation,
yeah.
or yeah, when they take a certain level of damage, they're told to stop.
Um. So we get the bodies are dumped on a conveyor belt into a room full of technicians repairing the robots, which this is like, yeah, this is like a fourth part of this movie, which like characters without names doing stuff,
Yeah.
kind of analyzing things and irresponsibly. It's like, huh, that's a good question. Will we act on it? Like, no. So it's like you're saying, this is like the corporate greed part of it, where it's like, we think there's a problem here. It's like we should probably just keep the park open. So
Yeah, this the scene is kind of interesting because again, these are I described like the pickup crew is very workmanlike. The robots are very workmanlike too. Like they're essentially open their chest cavity and it's a bunch of like 70s circuits and
yeah,
servos, um, which is like that's sort of cool. It kind of makes a convincing world.
yeah.
And again, it's like how are you having sex with these things? You're gonna get your willy in something that's you're gonna take 10,000 volts. Like
It's but it's a compartmentalized part, Nathan. It's a
I
special.
just never, yeah, I couldn't see. It's like something is animating this thing and moving it around for a long time. And that's a tremendous amount of power. I don't think I'm bringing Mr. Willie anywhere.
um. Oh, we get mention of central malfunction, which guy says another one. So
Yeah.
it's basically like the robots going crazy. A supervisor is going over a trend of robot malfunctions increasing. Which here, yeah, he calls it the disease of machinery.
Yes. This sounds like a machine disease. Who's ever heard of such a thing?
But also, we get this. This is probably the most curious thing.
Mm-hmm.
It says that these robots have because we don't know how long this is going on. It implies like this is a new thing and this is still new to people. But they say that these robots have been designed by other computers and that we don't know exactly how they work. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you do?
Yeah. Another weird visual futuring of like
Yeah.
what's going on now.
Yes.
To a certain extent. I don't know how. Sometimes they say it and it sounds spookier than it is. Is it like, or is it they just doing all the donkey work of programming?
Yeah.
It's like they're not making their own machines. They're just like, hey, program this to do that.
I mean, like computer can't. I mean, there's some stuff where like we did AI modeling and like, oh, was it? There's like something. I think it's in Britain. A building has like a very weird internal design to it. Like I think it's to the roof, and they basically had an AI use the structure of like bubbles to make a lattice based on like how bubbles are formed like on a microscopic level.
Okay.
and that's how they built. And as far as I know, it works. It also has a weird artistic design to it because it's like nothing is the same.
Yeah.
Like
I like
all.
the London skyline is dominated by very weird buildings.
um. Let's see here. We get it's the next day. The control center is like we see some more control center monitoring, which again they're just like it's videos of stuff. People say lines about hey do this, but we have really no idea how much control they have or anything like that. There's like seem to be like eventually they'll have a monitor that's like going through like the code that's going through the robots, and they can like be like reading their minds, and then like oh that went wrong. But like all they're doing is really observing. They're not really like I mean, they can like enact a scenario, and then like there's times where like the one guy in medieval world like hits on the queen, and they basically have to change the whole narrative based on what this guy's interaction with the queen, which seemed kind of interesting. But again, like this guy's like the least developed. He was like it seems like his whole part is there to be the first murder in Westworld.
Yeah.
That's exclusively what it's used for. It's
Yeah,
why
because the operators are like increase her infidelity factors or something.
yeah.
They say something like that. It's like, yeah, that makes it sexy.
Or I guess I should say the first murder of medieval world, the first murder at Delos, I guess. Yeah. um, and then and then we cut to yeah. We have it's like yeah, it's morning, and then, like the robots are all standing still, and they're just awaiting activation, and they basically give them the go code, and then everyone starts again. So, which they do that in the TV show too, with which is kind of fun because it's like just because then it just like it brings in the whole weirdness of the situation. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the banker wakes up with the French lady and then like smiles at the camera, breaks the fourth wall for no reason other than to like, hey, aren't you having fun? So, um, then we cut to Peter's taking a bath and singing. We also see John shaving in another room. He answers the door and the gunslinger is holding him up. And then Peter comes back to his room and hears the gunslinger through the wall, and he readies his gun, and the lady next door like admonishes him for being in a towel. And he kicks the door open and shoots the gunslinger through a window. We get a very classic Western stunt of falling through the window, rolling off a roof, and falling to the ground.
Yeah.
He shot him dead. So
And this was shot. The Westworld scenes in this were shot on the of the very same MGM backlots where a lot of westerns were shot.
yeah,
TV shows and movies. I think it was the last one too before they tore that all down.
yeah. Because they sold it to like real estate developers, which only makes sense for Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, well, those I don't they pretty much completely did away with like outdoor sets, right?
Somebody still has some because it's like used in every like police procedural shot in Los Angeles.
Okay.
But there's like a New York backlot built on some backlot in I think it might be Universal Studios maybe. But they really don't have backlots anymore. They just have sound studios, but there still is a backlot where it's just like here's a stage, it's open to the air. But like the reason you have a sound stage is for that reason, for sound. So you don't have unnecessary sound coming into your shot. So
Oh, okay.
and you can control everything. You can move walls, all this stuff, It's like why are comedies shot the way they are? It's like you light for 360, you have 6 cameras, and then you shoot the scene, and then you're done for the day. If somebody screws up, you just take over again. We cut to another camera angle. We edit out that flub, and we keep going. So that's the difference between if you're whole like. Ever people describe comedies as like a multicam comedy or a single cam comedy?
Yes, I have.
So like a single camera comedy or I guess show is one where in which they are lighting in one direction and then having to move the camera and relight everything because they're just using one camera.
Okay.
And then like a multicam show is basically like just light it up like it's a theater, and then you have 6 cameras shooting from all angles. So.
Okay.
And then you can just
I know.
and then you can just edit together. It makes it easier to edit, but it looks way less cinematic. So, It also takes way less time. And it's even though it seems like wouldn't that be expensive to have more cameras? It's like, well, they're gonna shoot fucking 8 TV shows on these cameras, so it doesn't matter. So, then we cut to like Peter's put in jail by the sheriff, which there was a scene earlier when like the sheriff was played by what when they're interviewing the TV guys, the sheriff was played by a guy, but here the sheriff is just like a host or whatever. So,
Yeah.
which that are they? What are they called? Are they called hosts here? Or are they called like automatons, or do they have an official name?
Robots.
Robots. Okay.
Well, some people say robots and some people say robots. There is a different way. Some of them are pronouncing them like British people would say that. Robots. But some American guys are saying it.
John hands a lady some baked goods to go to the jail with, and then she gives the tray to Peter, and then there's like a note under the coffee cup. And then John grabs 2 horses and waits outside the jail, and then just the side of the jail blows up for no reason. Because we don't even have like a reveal of like, ooh, there's explosives in the baked goods, or I don't know where the explosives are. They just suddenly happen. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's just
kind of a silly Western trope that we're going to break the guy out of the jail, because usually it's like a horse pulling the bars out of the window or something.
Yeah. John shoots the sheriff as they leave, which kind of like is a big 180 to his character, because he's like, because it seems like, yeah, he's trying to be the good guy, but now he's just like, well, I'm innocent, and now the sheriff is the bad man, and I get to kill anybody I want.
And I'm going to shoot him twice to make sure he's dead.
Yeah. Then we cut to Peter and John hang out on the outskirts of the town, wondering what they're going to do. Which the outskirts of town kind of look almost like they're on a different planet. So.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what these. It's like mountain, but they also kind of like weird sand dunes. I don't know what these.
It's in the Mojave Desert.
Okay, that makes sense.
Somewhere near California.
Right. We get some more command center stuff. I'm not even sure if they're like having meetings at this point where they're like kind of. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, they just keep having. The command center stuff is very forgettable because they kind of just like, oh, there's a problem, and then they just cut away. So it's more like they just kind of cut to it. So I think that's like, that's why like the show seems so much more superior, just because they have more time to develop this stuff. But it seems like, I mean, it's a short movie. It doesn't feel long, but it also just feels like there's missing stuff in this movie constantly. So
yeah, well, like I said, it's a taffy movie.
Yeah,
it's like if you heat up taffy. We're getting past the sag in the middle. Not yet, but we're getting closer.
We get some more medieval world time. A guy's having an affair with the queen. We get mention of the Black Knight returning, so it's basically like in Westworld we got the gunslinger, and here we had the Black Knight, and then and then Roman World whatever, because Roman World's the one that gets like it's just that's where sex happens, and there's no even world development for Roman World.
No. It's basically because they advertise it as like this come to Roman World and enjoy the relaxed moral standards of the height of the Imperial Roman. But it was like, okay, yeah, when you're saying relaxed moral standards, that's what you're talking about.
Now we have we got to the banker has taken up the sheriff role, which he kind of acts tough and nobody rebuttals against him, but then he like kind of fumbles with the door, so it's just a comic relief moment.
Yeah, he's locked himself out of the sheriff's office.
Then we come back to John and Peter. A rattlesnake shows up and attacks John. They shoot it dead, where they miss it a bunch too. Yeah. And I was like, at this moment, like, oh man, like, yeah, they can't control animal life. Like, this is a real snake, and then we realize, like, no, it's just a robot. But it wasn't supposed to attack, and that's where like, oh, this is kind of like, uh-oh, things are going bad. The techs take the snake back to analyze it, and then they have a meeting about central mechanism psychosis.
Yeah, I love that. It's like, yeah, we all know about that.
Then we have a bar fight in Westworld, which is just kind of a fun, classic bar fight, but maybe
good comic bar fight.
Yeah, but it just keeps going, so it's very comical. Peter and John like keep playing cards till the table gets crushed, and then they just join in with the bar fight. The banker comes in drinking, and then like his whiskey glass gets punched, or his whiskey bottle he's drinking from gets punched. That's kind of funny. Then we cut to a scene where they undo the gunslinger's face to install new infrared visual sensors, which is like this is like very unsettling because they take his face off and it's just like hollow underneath with a bunch of like sensors and stuff like that. Um, which I also like. This kind of like the poster is kind of a neat looking poster and it kind of emulates that, but it doesn't do it right because his eyes come off with his face, but in the poster it's just like underneath his eyes, his face is off.
Yeah.
Which is probably a better look because that'd be more creepy because then you still have something human that you can look at, but the rest of it's just a machine. So, um, let me cut to medieval time. The one dude that's trying to make out with Daphne, she's like just some kind of maid, and then she refuses him, and the texts are like go out to get her to analyze her because she say there's like, well, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's a sex model that refused sex, so this isn't good. So.
She's not doing what we programmed. By the way, that actress now is 80. So that makes you realize how old this movie
Yeah.
is.
It's an early 70s movie, so.
Yeah.
What's the contemporary to Westworld? What else was out in 73?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look it up real quick.
Movies of 1973. I can't even remember what we did for 1973.
Well, let's see. What are the big ones? The Exorcist was the biggest one that year.
Oh, okay.
And American Graffiti, we've done that.
Oh, yeah, that's the one we did for 73, yeah.
Papillon, Force.
Oh, Serpico was 73?
Yep.
Huh.
Serpico.
I've
Live
never,
and
seen,
Die.
I've never seen Serpico.
It's a good movie.
Enter the Dragon.
Another good movie.
Wicker Man. Soylent Green. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We've done that.
Papillon, Day of the Jackal. So.
It was a good year for movies.
I mean, the 70s was mostly a lot of good movies in the 70s. So.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, the sex robot refusing sex. I have that being the end act too. It's the characters at their lowest. So, Act 3, the Black Knight shows up to fight the guest. Or I guess he just called the Knight in the credits. I forget if he has an actual name.
They call him the Black Knight verbally in the movie.
No, the real dude, the host.
Oh,
What's his name?
Oh, let's see. What
I think in Internet Movie Database credits he lists
Black Knight. Oh, you mean the guy?
Yeah, the guy.
Oh, no, they just have the name of the actor. He's credited as Medieval Knight.
Yeah. So, yeah, the queen shows up. The guy grabs his shield and sword, and they start fighting. And then we cut to meanwhile Peter and John stumble awake from the bar fight last night, which basically it seems like it's not like they got hit or anything, or like I don't presume they did, but they just were tired out from fighting and drinking. So, we cut back to the night guy gets a slash wound, and then he's just stabbed by the Black Knight. Eventually to his death, but they didn't really play up. They just kind of come back and it's like, oh yeah, he's dead. But they didn't have any of the people rush in and provide medical assistance or anything like that. So, the control center gives a command to shut down the Black Knight, and it doesn't respond. So that's where all right, everything's going crazy now. The gunslinger waits for Peter and John. John duels because John hasn't done a gunfight yet. So it's yeah, I suppose it's my time to do this. And then John gets shot by the gunslinger, and then Peter's in disbelief as John's just bleeding out and just dies. It's like I wasn't expecting that. So then Peter runs away. The control center says they have no control over the robots. We get robot vision as the horse rides away, which the trivia on this is the first digital shot in cinema. But I think it's just an after effect. I don't know how they did it or what.
Well, originally Michael Crichton went to Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Okay.
Hey, can you do this and run it through a computer and digitalize the frame by frame?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that for $250,000, which is basically the time he was renting time on a computer to do that. And it's well, that's a third of my budget. So no, he found some other people that had different computers that would do it. but it took 1 hour to do one frame. It took like, I forget. I mean, it was like 2 minutes of it took like 10 hours to create that film.
Okay.
Because what they did was they just took the film and then they coated each section of it with a color coding,
Yeah.
and the computer would process that, and then they'd process where that's how you got the movement and stuff.
Yeah.
But so yeah, each individual square, which they were stretched out into rectangles for the film, but actually they were very tight squares originally. It's just when they were put on the film, because this was digitally made then transferred to film.
Yeah.
But you could do it with 35 millimeter film, so it was actually fairly cost effective. And then they transferred that image to the movie film. So yeah, it was a whole involved thing that Michael Crichton explains in an interview. But essentially, yeah, it was the first, like, this is technically a digital effect, but we're doing it on film digitally and exposing each of those little squares, and then we're taking that film and then transferring it to movie film so it looks completely different. But it take because now there's, like, somebody said on YouTube, this one guy was like, had a picture of himself, and it's like, now you can go to Adobe and he just clicks a mouse and it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Back then it required a room full of computers with magnifying goggles making sure each little rectangle or square was the right color. And it's like, oh, that's nuts.
um. Yeah, the gunslinger grabs a horse and gives chase, which also, like, all the horses in Westworld are robots.
Yeah.
So, which they don't go crazy.
Yeah, some things don't go crazy in Westworld. The snakes, all the human-like ones do.
Yeah.
Horses are still loyal to the end.
Violence to the guests just starts happening across all the parks, but also there seems to be, like, the robots also seem to be violent against other robots. So you don't know, because I think when you look at all the dead bodies, you presume that's all just humans being killed, but it also seems to be robots are caught in the crossfire as well. So
Yeah. Because then it said, like, well, we've cut the power, and it's like, well, they have internal power cells. It's like, oh, how long can they last? Either 1 to 12 hours, depending on the model.
Yeah.
It's like, so we know, like, well, the gunslingers must be one of the 12-hour models.
Yeah. Well, he had recent maintenance. So,
Yeah.
he's got new some new infrared sensors. Peter gets his hat shot off as he runs.
We never did the guns. Let me do the guns in this movie.
Okay.
Let's do that. Yes, our heroes are using the Colt Single Action Army. With it's noted as the safety mechanism appears as a bar on the bottom, which is not in the real guns.
Okay.
The gunslinger is using a cavalry version, which is slightly longer.
Okay.
Black handle. And then and the stagecoach guy is carrying a coach shotgun, of course, which is a short-barreled double-barrel shotgun. And then the Winchester Model 1892, which is a lever-action, essentially 30 caliber rifle.
Yeah, is that what
the slinger's using here?
Yeah.
You've seen them; they're the classic lever-action.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, it's a classic. Western guns going on here.
I always thought I wanted one until I tried one out, and I was like, "Well, this sucks. I don't want." I like modern firearms.
Yeah. So just the action's kind of grating.
It's a little. There's a lot of monkey motion from when it goes from that tube, because here's like, okay, here's the action and here's the feed tube. So it kind of like every time you lever that, one comes up the tube and it's got to catch it and go up like this. And that doesn't always work out.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to do it fast. If you do it in a consistent cyclic fashion, it works. But when you're trying to do it fast because it's cool to get a lot of shots off, like they do in the movies, which is all our references for firearms, it's like, yeah, it gets stuck and it hits, and you're using like lead rounds, so they're always going to take a dip and a dent in front of them, and you don't like that. It's like, well, I hope so. I'm just pulling.
Well, it's a tube, so it's usually the bullets have to have like a blunt tip on them, so they don't ignite the bullet in front of it. So
yeah, so I'm taking the damaged bullet out. But yeah, if you shoot it slowly, it works. It's a little punchy on the shoulder.
Okay.
Because it's just a really old technology.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, okay, this is cool.
I remember some crazy guys out there that made some California compliance guns, and it's like there's a lever action 5.56 with like a 15 round or 10 round magazine out there that seems kind of interesting because it's got Picatinny rail on it and stuff like that, but then just has this ancient old,
It's like a
lever
steam
action. Yeah,
modern. And yeah, that's cool.
it seems kind of cool, but it's not $1,500 cool. So
No. It's like, yeah, you're trying to comply with a place that you could have like just go vote. You wouldn't have to make this gun. You could have the real ones the rest of us have. You don't have to have big fins on the handles so you can't grab them. It's like, you guys need to go vote. What the hell are you doing?
Let's see here.
Or build huge cemeteries. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. I'm not saying anything. Westworld.
Or make a place happier,
Yeah.
Identify mental illness. We're never gonna do that, so
Not cemeteries. We're gonna do movers. Beep, beep.
Yeah, Peter, he stops with his horse, and then he tries to set up an ambush on the gunslinger. The gunslinger hears Peter breathing but doesn't see him yet. But then we cut back to Peter, and he just starts taking fire from the gunslinger, and then just runs off.
Yeah.
Which is also I imagine this had to influence Predator. I don't think it's been directly stated, but it has to have been. So
this movie influenced a lot of movies because this is the first time you saw any of this stuff.
Yeah.
1973, they're just making it up. They got like one of the biggest actors they could get, which is Yul Brynner, which brought a lot to the movie.
Yeah,
for a guy that has 5 lines of dialogue. It's like
he's
bib.
I don't know. It's like I think even like Magnificent Seven, you had like Charles Bronson and Yul Brynner are both guys who like give me less dialogue, and they just had a presence to them.
Well, Yul Brynner has a very pronounced Russian accent when he's not acting. Because I heard him interviewed, and I was like, this guy sounds like the Ricardo Montalban. He's like, but yeah, when he does his lines, he does them in a different vernacular. But yeah, that was hard for him to overcome.
But he's like also like Keanu Reeves, where he's like a lot of his acting is in his like physical acting, and how he does everything here, which like you said the other people picked on when picked up on when like, well, I'm gonna play a robot. How do I do it? It's like, I'm gonna look like Yul Brynner did. So.
Look at one of the greatest actors of the 20th century physically, and he wasn't directed to do any of this.
Yeah.
Like when he's always walking with his hands in his belt and stuff, like he did that. It looked cool as hell. It's like, this is a guy that has all the time in the world to kill you. Hurry. And that's frightening because everyone's like, I want to live. And this guy's like pretty sanguine about this. It's like, it's just his job. That's all he does.
And also, like, I don't know necessarily the of the time of how big the Magnificent Seven was and like that character. Because, like, some people talk about basically this is a spoof of his character from Magnificent Seven because he's dressed exactly the same, but the character is completely different because he's not a hero or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if I was supposed to pick up on that level of that stuff if you know anything about that, Nathan.
Well, I mean, we're of a generation where the original Magnificent Seven was like something you watch because it came out in 1960.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's a cool movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
But it's like that wouldn't have impacted us.
No. We would have seen it on TV and be like, that's an old movie.
Earlier called Commandments. But yeah.
I mean, I guess also Seven Samurai is a cooler movie that holds up better than Magnificent Seven. So I don't know.
Well, because I think Yul Brynner in the Magnificent Seven, like, because it's who else is in that? Like Robert Vaughn,
Steve McQueen,
Charles Bronson. But Yul Brynner plays like a Cajun or someone with a weird accent who doesn't talk much.
Yeah.
And Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson do most of the dialogue.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, but I think because Yul Brynner was like the man in black, because he had like the black hat, the black shirt, like everything was black. I think that does stand out in people's minds.
Okay.
Especially a 1973 audience, because the Magnificent Seven would have been 13 years old then. So. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not sure like the degree of what we're supposed to be like. Is this just nostalgia? Is this a spoof? Like what's going on here? I'm not exactly sure. I have the cultural context
Well, I
to
think
say
it's
for
what
that.
Yul Brynner made it. Like
Yeah.
it's a movie called Westworld. We're getting him at the last minute. We're getting him for $75,000, which that's super cheap to get an A-list actor even back then. But he was on, I don't know, his seventh divorce or whatever.
Yeah,
So he needed some money.
yeah.
Uh,
Great
like,
bit parts have been born of many divorces.
yeah, these guys and their 20 brides are like, oh man, we got some great movies. So I think he was just like, hey, I'm this super A-list actor and I know how to make things look cool and feel cool. I'm just going to do that character, but it's a robot and it's evil. So like that, yeah, go wild with that. But he's not a chew the scenery actor either, so he's
No.
going to do it with subtlety and coolness.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, that's great. Because like I said, I think he speaks 10 words in the whole movie. But he's what you remember, and he's on the poster.
Yeah.
Oh,
We cut to there's something with the command center and the power to the doors being out, and like there's still power like to the computers, but not the doors, and they're locked in there and they're getting overheated.
yeah, they're running out of air.
Um,
Because it doesn't seem like things work very well at Delos either. The phones don't work.
yeah, I guess this central processing malfunction also went to like the building automation system as well or something like that. I have no idea. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it's kind of like, well, we got to tell this story. Quick.
But
The main stuff. It's like, yeah, the controllers can't help them. They're all suffocating. They can't override a door lock. Makes a fire
these
extinguisher.
geniuses who build moving automatons can't figure out how to open a security door. So, Peter comes across a tech. The tech is scared. The tech talks about, well, at first he's like, "Hey, don't hurt me," like, because he thinks he's a machine. He's like, "Let me look at your hands." Then the talk talks about all the machines going crazy in all the worlds. The tech says that the gunslinger's too advanced now, and that Peter doesn't have a chance of survival. And then Peter just runs off with a horse, and the gunslinger shoots the tech dead. So it's kind of fun.
It's basically Kyle Reese's speech from Terminator. Can't be reasoned with. It can't be bargained with. It will not stop ever until you
It doesn't get tired.
doesn't feel pity or remorse.
John goes into Roman world and just runs through the locations just full of dead bodies. In Roman world, just like short shrift here. I think we do see like the wife or whatever from
Somebody's dead at a table with like
Yeah.
a dagger.
It's like, oh yeah, like I think
These
that's
are kind
her.
Creepy scenes, even though they're run through fast.
Yeah.
It's like you really kind of feel for like, oh, Peter's like truly, he would be scared to death at this point. It's like it's just like Disney, but everyone's dead. Where's the manhole cover? Quick.
Yeah, Peter finds the manhole cover, lifts it up, and takes the ladder down to an underground tunnel system in the park. Peter peeks through a window to the command center where all the techs are dead, I'm guessing, or passed out from heat and lack of oxygen.
Yeah, they're dead.
Well, he might not be in this room, but there is one of these tech guys is in Future World, so, but he might not have been in this room. So
Okay. I haven't
Uh,
watched Future World in quite a while.
I can't remember. There was a guy. There's a one of the head tech guys. His last name's Oppenheimer. I'm like, is it like from the Oppenheimer? It's like, no, it's just another family name, Oppenheimer.
By the way, that guy's still alive because I remember that name. Still doing voice work to this day. He's like
Okay.
5. He's still doing voice stuff because that's what he was famous for. Even then, he's a voice actor.
Yeah.
But they cast him in this because they could get him for like $10,000 or
Yeah.
whatever. So, and he does a good job because I think he's, doesn't he? Is he the one talking about the virus or
Yeah.
not the virus, the not virus? Who's ever heard of a computer disease?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, he does great in that role because he's like, oh, this guy's a dialogue guy.
Peter ends up at the in the repairs. I think when he talks to tech, he gives him some specifics about how like the sensors work. So then he
Yeah.
shows up.
You got to hit it with sulfuric acid
Yeah.
specifically.
So he ends up at this repair lab and he grabs some chemicals to fight the gunslinger. He hears.
There's all kinds of acid there,
Yeah, yeah.
nitric and sulfuric, and he's like sulfuric. It's the one.
He hears the footsteps bellow near, so then Peter pretends to be a dead body, and then when the gunslinger walks by, who he notices Peter at the last moment as he looks at him, and then he throws the acid in the gunslinger's face, and the gunslinger's face like boils, and they just
Yeah,
kind of
this movie becomes kind of a horror movie.
yeah
This is a really effective, like or what would you call it, disturbing scene.
yeah
It's because like his face is like bubbling,
yeah
smoking. Like I don't know how they got this effect, but he's not screaming or
yeah no.
yeah.
He just
That's
casually walks over to sink, so
yeah.
yeah. Peter leaves the room and takes a breath, and the gunslinger shows up shooting. The gun malfunction, it says, has low battery on it, so he just throws it away.
Yeah, we don't know what that means.
Yeah, no idea.
But it means he can't do ranged attack anymore, and his eye sensors have been damaged.
Yeah. And then Peter gets to medieval world. We see the Queen and the Black Knight are like motionless because they've run out of juice. Peter hides around the area, and we see the robot vision, and and it's compromised because now it's like more orangish, so it's harder to tell the brighter orange from the lesser orange, I guess.
In medieval world, we have actual torches
Yeah.
burned, like so that like throws off its thermals or something.
Yeah. So yeah, the gunslinger can't tell whether it's fire or guest or not. Peter knocks. Well, it's a fun scene because we kind of see like the computer thinking when he's like 5 feet away from death. Essentially, it's a very interesting how everything is positioned here.
Yeah, some people said this scene went on for too long, younger people, but I was like, no, this is perfect. This is actually terrifying.
Yeah, because he's staring right at him, but it can't see him.
Yeah. He doesn't know that. He doesn't have that knowledge. He's just like, what's it going to do next? I mean, he understands if he stands near torches, it can't discriminate between his body heat and the torch. But that's about the limit because he's a lawyer, not an engineer. So,
which is also kind of interesting because there's similar logic used in Jurassic Park as well. So.
yes, it all comes around.
Peter knocks against a cup, and then the gunslinger lunges at him. Then Peter just like has a torch and just touches him with the fire, and it just immediately engulfed in flames.
Which I'm thinking immediately of the stunt man. How many takes did they do?
Yeah. Because
this guy is on fire for literally like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I know that's multiple like fire extinguisher and reshoots, but it is a cool, like this movie becomes horrifying at this point. Because you're watching a man burn and there's shit dripping on the floor.
Yeah.
You know it's a robot, but you also know like from like studying filmmaking, like this is the worst kind of work to do. It's the most scary because it's like you can do that for what is it, like 10-15 seconds, and they hit you with a fire extinguisher because you're getting hot, and it's just like you can get killed so fast with those scenes. And this goes on for a while. I mean, this guy is like burning, like knocking it.
We linger on it,
and the cowboy hat is permanently affixed. It never melts. It's always cool. Like that's the most industrial cowboy hat ever. But it makes it look weird and horrifying.
And then, Peter leaves. I think we see him fall over on fire eventually.
Yes.
Peter leaves. He hears a woman crying for help. He unchains her. He picks her up and he tries to give her water, but then she just sparks as he realizes that she's just a robot as well. So it's like, what was going on here? She was being tortured and she was a robot? Like, was that the humans doing that to her? Was the robots doing her? I have no idea. So.
It's gone dark, like they said in Blue Velvet. Who was that character?
The Isabel Rossellini character?
No, it's the guy from Quantum Leap. It's like, and now it gets dark. It's like, you almost want that guy. You could mix this movie with Blue Velvet at some point.
And then a charred gunslinger shows up, gestures, and just kind of falls off the steps. He gets back up, but he stares at Peter without the face because the face is just now fixed on the floor, falling off or whatever. And so we get the weird, it's just the inside of, no eyes, no mouth, nothing.
Yeah.
And then just catches fires again, dies. And then Peter sits down and contemplates as a voiceover of the Dell's commercial plays and then malfunctions. And
Yes, this part of the movie is actually a horror movie, and I'm surprised it maintained its PG rating, because you always know the bad guy's going to come back in this era for one last grasp.
yeah.
But it is actually horrifying because it's just a blackened, melted face,
Yeah.
and the cowboy hat is such a constant theme. Still there, it's all burnt and melted because this thing's just plastic and metal. But yeah, it's still it's vaguely horrifying.
Yeah.
This is like the Terminator reaching out from the press before she hits the button, because when the Terminator gets completely skeletonized in the first movie, that's kind of what this is like.
Yeah.
I don't know if all these are correct. James Cameron will correct us, I'm sure, if it's wrong. But
Well, we can always refer him to what's
Harlan Ellison,
Yeah.
who I talked about earlier in the podcast. Now that he's dead, it's safe to talk about him.
Remember, you didn't create anything. Harlan Ellison created everything.
Yeah. Harlan Ellison is the god of this universe. And he actually really is. I do believe some people, there's some writers that everyone worship, and I've read, there's a lot of writers I love, but Harlan Ellison has got to be in my top 5.
Yeah, I was reading one of his short story books, and like his writing was so good that like I was writing stuff, and I was like, oh man, I'm just stealing Harlan Ellison. I don't want to do that, so I had to stop writing it and I had to stop reading that book because I'm just going to get too influenced by Harlan Ellison.
That was part of that's why he accused everyone of plagiarism, and he wasn't wrong. That's what he was. Curse and it's like one of those things. It's like Gift of the Magi, where it's a curse and a blessing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to gift you with immortality, but everyone you know will die. And it's like, no, you're going to be the best short story sci-fi writer in human history, and everyone will steal from you, and you will feel full rage over it. Like, what a curse.
It's to a lesser extent why I have to like stop watching Red Letter Media because like I really enjoy their stuff, but like I don't want to just repeat what they say.
I took them off YouTube. Not that I don't support those guys, but it's like, well, I can't do Red Letter Media shit all day. They do it better than I do.
Yeah.
I don't have a studio here. I have a job and a mortgage. Sued by a bunch of guys from Milwaukee, a bunch of very pleasant people. We're like, we're gonna have to take everything you own.
I don't know. Are they shooting like a movie or anything like that? Or are they just doing YouTube? Like, you have any idea?
Doing YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, they're roughly like our age. So
yeah. Well, also like that they don't do podcasts or anything like that, right? Or do they?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because it also seems like they have like podcasts are beneath them. They've made so many like, things about making fun of podcasts. Cause
yeah,
which I understand. It's like a bit too easy to do a podcast. So.
Well, I mean, it's a bit too easy to do a bunch of low quality like corporate sycophancy. That's what they make fun of.
Yeah.
It's like we're the fanboys of hero movies or whatever. You know, that's kind of their thing. And it is easy to make podcasts with zero effort. We've been doing it for years. I like to think I'm enough of a smartass that people enjoy it on some level. It's not fine art or good film.
We don't know how to attract an audience, but we know how to entertain ourselves, and that's all we need.
Yeah, we're having fun. We're just working through our childhood traumas here.
Yeah. Do you have any more do you have any other pithy things want to say about the Westworld averse that's happened in the wake of Westworld or anything?
I love this movie.
Okay.
Because it's like that 70s downer sci-fi that I love and miss. I liked Westworld season 1. I loved Westworld season 1. Couldn't wait for more, and then it happened, and I was like, okay, I've seen Lost before.
I mean, 2's still fine. I think 2 is fine. Yeah, I like 2. I can't remember what 3 is. Because I think 3 they go is bad, and then I think 4 is they bring Can't remember the actor's name. Was it like Aaron something? The guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I think that season's all right, and then the last season is atrocious. So, like,
Well,
well-made atrocity. And again, we've always specified our hate with Westworld is that the creators are smarter than us, and clearly we don't understand what they meant for us to take. But what we witnessed was stupid. So,
yeah. Well, it's just like my thing with Lost. It's like David Lindelof can clearly entertain me.
yeah.
I would love to talk to the guy because he did Watchmen, the TV series. And I love that, even though I hate all that fucking like, oh, we got to be super progressive and weird. He made it funny and enjoyable and cool. So it's like that guy can entertain me, but yeah, the Lost just sucked because it created a bunch of, um, questions without answers, but not in a David Lynch way where it's like, yeah, that's the vibe. It's like because like David Lynch, I would call that. What's that term? Because we were speaking of movies in 1973 where they play the music. What do they call
Oh,
that? Like,
diegetic music.
okay, yeah. So David Lynch does what I call diegetic weirdness, which I'm not using the word properly. But when you see all the weirdness in his movies, the reason I love it is like I expect it. It's not going to pay off, but it's going to be cool to see.
Yeah.
Versus like Lost or Westworld, where I'm going to keep throwing weird shit at you and it's never going to pay off. That's going to piss me off.
Yeah.
That's going to make me angry. So what I'm going to do is watch the first season and love it and think like this is great. My life is finally has meaning. And then the reason I don't like season 2 of Westworld is because it sets up even more stuff that I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But then I remember the disappointment. So I say watch season 1 because everything else is like, and I know what you're doing is brilliant and deep, and you went to like Harvard and got an English degree, and you understand all these concepts. I don't, but it still it hits me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't like it, and it doesn't land, and I don't care, and I'm not going to talk about it in anything but the most derisive terms possible because you're again, it's called disappearing up your own ass. I am so fucking smart. Nobody will ever understand me. Even that's like, all right, I'm gone. I don't know. Someone's going to pay money for this, but it's not me. Go ahead and do it. Tell me what a dumbass I am because it doesn't matter. It's not going to resonate.
But it is kind of an amazing remake because we kind of say like you shouldn't remake movies that are good. You should remake movies that were either bad or just kind of mediocre or incomplete. Which this movie is incomplete.
Definitely.
But it is very fascinating. And then like they ran with it and they went further with it. And so it's like, yes, that like season 1 of Westworld is a better interpretation of Westworld.
Well, yeah, it's like the Battlestar Galactica thing. It's like, yeah, that was better because they're hitting a whole different audience. They're operating on a level that's like way higher than what it was originally intended to be. The same things can be said about Westworld, but the things about Westworld that were relevant at the time that they made it are still relevant when they made the first, season of the TV series.
Yeah.
We are living in this weird world. I mean, what we're doing right now would not be possible in the 70s.
Yeah.
Talking over an integrated global computer network and recording a show. It's like, yeah, that wasn't even possible then. By the time, 2016, when they did the new Westworld, it was like, yeah, that's what's new. And so they brought it to the next level because it's still relevant to things that are going on right now. Whereas like remaking Halloween, it's like, well, yeah, there's still serial killers and slashers and murderers, and it's cool to see that reimagined, but it's not also a current event.
Yeah.
Other than it's like some true crime thing. But yeah. So Westworld was like, yeah, technology is going to be either our enemy or our best friend. And a lot of it depends on what are the humans behind it doing.
Yeah.
Technology is a tool, and it's people that make it good or evil.
And they did have like the kind of Lost thing of like the why am I forgetting his name? Hannibal Lecter. Your favorite actor.
Hopkins, yeah.
Anthony Hopkins' character of like basically holding a secret with
Yeah.
his art creation that nobody else can figure out, and he's lording it over them,
Yeah.
and basically kills himself to let to dare other people to figure it out.
Yeah. The last, what do they call them? Narratives. Yeah, because in the Westworld TV show, they definitely explore like, yeah, the guests are showing up, but there is an overarching story we want to tell. It's just how are the guests going to screw it up?
Yeah.
That was kind of a thing. Because remember, like the Spanish criminal was giving this great speech when he robbed the bank, and one of the guests just shows up and shoots him in the back, like, oh. The people in the control booth are like, God, this sucks. Derailed our narrative where he was supposed to give this grandiose speech. You know, it involved like class warfare and criminality, and this guy just shoots him in the back, like, and of course it was like an American character, like, look at that, honey. So that was great, but
it almost kind of like is like presents to you why theater is what makes theater amazing is that it's live and anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to follow a script, but
we don't.
Or that's not always a possibility.
That was a thing they were trying to establish, is like the loops that the hosts were in.
Yeah.
It's like humans were the X factor in that. And even the people that ran the park had lost sight of that, because they're like, I wrote this brilliant narrative, and this hick from Nebraska just showed up and screwed it all up. But which means like, yeah, you don't understand, like you're losing your humanity, because I just want this narrative to play out perfectly, which was what like John Ford, I think was the Anthony Hopkins character name, was
okay. Yeah.
Was like, yeah, that the big narrative is like revealing. It's like, oh no, the hosts are self-aware and they're the next step in humanity's evolution, but they have these like broken minds. What do they call it? The bicameral mind.
Oh.
Where they went two different directions. Because that was the thing with the one character, like, who didn't know he was a host. Like the first guy, Bruno.
Oh,
yeah, and it's like, no, you're one of these things, but your mind is split, and Dolores is down the same track. But you find out Dolores has been around for like 70 years.
Yeah.
Because she was like a more mechanical, like 73 Westworld automaton, and they show how they evolve into like, oh yeah, the same things that heal them and repair them heal humans too.
Yeah.
So essentially you're killing humans
Yeah.
at this point. Because remember when the one lady like slits the guy's throat when the two technicians are working on her, and then she takes the tool and like heals the slash immediately, and he's like, oh God, I thought you killed me. It's like, oh, these are the same things now. Just flesh and blood entities that you're trapping in these story arcs and killing over and over and over again, which we don't get in this movie.
And that's also kind of, I remember like when video games were basically starting to be bigger than movies, directors and stuff would rail against video games for being like, well, how can you tell a narrative if a player can do anything? And then, well, you don't play video games, you don't realize the player can't do anything or can't do everything.
Yeah, it's an open world, but it's still got boundaries.
Yeah,
like,
you're still funneled eventually into a storyline. You have distractions you can go into, and then that is a problem for video game storytellers. Is like, how do you tell a story when somebody isn't following the path?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm writing a Shakespeare story, but this guy's like, I just want to kill people. It's like, well, that's when everyone who talks to him, he just cuts their head off. Listen to what the peasant told you. And it's like, no, I just want to kill people because, you know, I'm a soft brain, or what do they call it, smooth brain.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just want to see things die. It's like, yeah, how do you write Shakespeare for those guys? Don't you make them extinct?
Well, and some games are just purely functional. There's no storytelling at all. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Well, we're saying our probe in space contained a supercut of scenes from the imperfect collection of the movies that make up the Verhoeven Effect. Nathan, what one scene for this movie are we shoving into space?
This movie, I would say the first shootout in the saloon.
Okay.
Where Yul Brynner shows up, and he just press checks the guy, shoulder checks him,
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're sloppy with your drink. Baby needs a bib." For a fight, and the guy's reluctant, and then he does it, and it's like the most fulfilling experience. Do that, and it's like, yeah, essentially you murdered somebody. Murder simulation. It was a
Yeah.
machine, but yeah, but it establishes the tone of the movie because it's like, oh, you get to kill them, and then they get to kill you. But it's actually considered an error when they kill you.
Yeah.
But this movie doesn't address. This movie does not go to where the Westworld TV
No.
show.
But the Westworld TV show did have a perfect encapsulation of that whole concept. Was it? Or is that a thing they made up, or is that something from some poem or something? Like these violent delights have violent ends. Is that from
That's
Shakespeare? That's
Yeah.
Shakespeare. Okay, never mind. Never mind. They stole that from Shakespeare. So
But it's the best guy to steal.
perfectly fits. So
Yeah. No, it actually. That's the thing with Shakespeare. You're always going to steal from him.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing Japanese anime, you're stuck in the Western tradition of storytelling.
You have to get through it. You're just going to be stealing from Shakespeare and Harlan Ellison. You just have to get past that.
Yeah.
So.
Shakespeare was the original Harlan Ellison.
You can find us on Letterboxd, username VHE. 1 out of 5 stars. What are we giving Westworld?
I'm going to give Westworld a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Because it is a product of its time, and it is definitely a padded movie, and you can tell.
Yeah.
But it does get the ideas it's trying to get across. It does get across.
Yeah.
It doesn't
there's
really
good ideas. It's swift enough, even though it's padded. So.
And I hate to say that because I like Michael Crichton a lot.
Yeah.
His books, I like his other movies.
Again, you mentioned like the MGM was hard to work with at this time, and so like he made the best movie he could within the constraints of a movie studio that apparently wanted to save money rather than make a good movie. So.
Well, I from what I understand,
or it's one of those things where it's like the producers think they're making a good movie too, and it's like, and then it ends up going wrong. So.
Well, the narrative I understand is like this was the transitional period between we're going to either make violent kind of art house type movies, or we're going to do science fiction.
Yeah.
And this is kind of seen as a compromise between the two. And it's like you got a talented writer here who did perform with Andromeda Strain as far as delivering the story, but now he's a writer director, first time director, and it's like, yeah, we're going to bulldoze this guy with our ideas.
Yeah.
And not all their ideas were bad. It's like, we got Yul Brynner for you. Like, Wright didn't do that.
Yeah.
Executives did that. So it's like, hey, we got you a big name actor for your kind of weird offbeat movie. And we are putting our chips on, because the sci-fi revolution in the 70s is the same as like the superhero stuff we get now. It's like everyone's pushed all their chips towards that because we're transitioning. Because we're either doing that or we're doing Bonnie and Clyde. So it's equally as good a movie, but it's like, okay, we got this new guy and this is what we're doing. But it was a good first step for sure. Like you can definitely tell, like all that Harvard med school training paid off. He's a smart guy.
If you can do med school, you can do anything.
Yeah, you can do literally anything. Schooling or something. And you're going to Harvard, which is like Ivy League schools are twice as hard. So
you can just put Harvard on a resume and just get the job. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that
I
was
don't think he ever wanted to be known as Dr. Michael Crichton either. I think he told me, like, don't do that. I didn't practice medicine.
Oh, there's a lot of Hollywood people that are like it's him, George Miller, Ken Jeong. Which I guess actually I don't know if he gave up medical practice. He was like
his story is hilarious. Of course, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But he did that. He's like, I did that to keep my parents happy. I said, I'll go to med school, but I want to try acting and stuff too. But I'll do med school for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna like lay aside 12 years of my life, go through a residency and everything, and then I'm gonna go try out for movies. Where I'm known as the guy, like his shtick is like, oh, I'm an actual doctor, but I just want to be in movies because I love my parents enough to respect them. It's like, that's fun. George Miller was like, I was an ER doctor, and he's like, I'm fascinated with the results of car accidents. That into a movie franchise.
Yeah.
Where people are just torn apart in high speed car accidents, which I respect. I respect the weirdness there.
Was Cronenberg medical related? I can't remember.
I don't know off the top of my head. It has to be.
Okay.
Let me look on the internet while we're doing a podcast.
Or maybe he just did weird medical stuff. I can't remember.
I don't know. People from that time seem to have a lot of options. Oh wow, he's looking crazy. Because it just brought up a bunch of pictures. Oh, he's 82. Okay,
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's still directing movies. I thought he was dead like 5 years ago.
No,
It's like his son is making movies, so his dad's dead, right? It's like, no.
Let's see. He was a voracious reader. He liked True Detective magazine, which I don't know if you've ever seen any of those old magazines. They're kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty much a film guy.
Okay.
Art house. Loved art house films.
Okay.
That's probably, yeah, he did for body horror what Lynch did for weirdness.
Well, you can find us on the internet at verhoeveneffect.com. There we have listener support. You can support us a monthly site plan on 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. Cancel anytime. You can rate our podcast wherever you want, but the only thing the algorithm listens to is the highest rating. Remember, give us the highest rating. We must confuse the AI. We've infected
it. Evidence of that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to look up an episode, and so I was typing in Verhoeven Effect, and the AI return thing basically gives our spiel as to the definition of what Verhoeven Effect is.
Nice, we're influencing the culture.
Because I think our podcast, or no, our inception of the word Verhoeven Effect exists before the Urban Dictionary version of it.
Okay.
Which the Urban Dictionary version of it is like people is like the opposite of the Verhoeven Effect. It's like people misinterpreting Verhoeven Effect. That's how Urban Dictionary tries to do it, or whoever put it up there. But because we have more episodes or whatever, the AI has determined that our definition of the Verhoeven Effect is the correct one. But it still does mention the Urban Dictionary as, I think it's like the first clickable link, but the AI overview is us. So
it's funny. Glad machine intelligences are paying attention to us. Nothing bad ever came out of that.
I was funny that there was some I don't know, some podcast thing trying to hey, we can get listeners for you, and clearly they just had an AI listen to our episode and regurgitate a summary of it, and then try to get us to pay them to get us more clicks or something like that. So.
Sure. Don't you realize we don't care? Failure is our DNA.
We wouldn't know what to do with success.
Yeah, we're successful. It's like, let's quit doing this. We're going to lose our jobs.
You can find us at Twitter at Verhoeven Effect. You can find us at Blue Sky Social at Verhoeven Effect, and you can find us on Facebook at Verhoeven Effect, and you can find us on YouTube at American Greed Factory. Watch both this and that show live and unedited. So for the Verhoeven Effect podcast, I'm Conlon,
and I'm Nathan.
Goodbye, America.